Hey guys, it's Brandon, aka B.Rich Beauty, aka your beauty best friend, and a happy Monday, y'all! It's the finale for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion, so you know what to do. Grab your tea, grab your beverage. Let go. Jeremy.
Brandon.
How you doing out there, sugar?
I am blessed and highly favored. How are you over there?
I can't complain, Sunday school teacher. I am here. Surprisingly, thankfully, I have a voice. I went and did Jazz in the Garden, which was a concert weekend here in Miami of like all the good old acts for us, for our
Oh,
community.
okay, I thought you were saying you were singing up in the jazz in the gardens.
Oh no. I mean,
Okay.
I was singing along, but I was singing along to like the Isley Brothers and to Mary J. Blige.
Oh, she was there, Mary.
That side kicking and everything. Auntie
Okay.
Mary came through with her sidestep this weekend, Jeremy.
Listen, oh, I love Mary.
Oh, I was like, she what?
I love her. I love
I
her.
I got a chance to see her this weekend as well. And
Who,
Rick
Mary J?
Ross. Huh?
Mary J?
No, her. The
Mary,
singer her.
oh, my bad. I was like, her. I'm like, who is you talking about, sis? Like, okay.
Yes, her. I saw her and Rick Ross. And surprisingly, Rick Ross was not that bad. I don't think I would buy it. I don't know if I would buy a concert ticket exactly for Rick Ross, but because he was all wrapped up in the bundle, it was good.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. See, I'm trying to make it down to Essence.
Ooh, me
That's got a
too.
great lineup with Miss Janet, Miss Nikki, New Edition, Holly and Chloe, just to name a few. Like, I
What?
mean,
Janet Jackson is headlining Essence.
yes, on Saturday, New Edition headlining Sunday, Nicki Minaj on Friday.
New edition, as in Bobby Brown, new edition.
They're on tour, and these everybody I've known that have gone and seen them live have been loving every minute of
Is
it.
is Bobby Brown showing up?
Yeah, listen, Bobby didn't change his life. He is on
Did
time.
cardio?
I don't know about that, but that was the big driver for me to go down there was New Edition. So I was
Well,
like, oh, sign me up.
first of all, I was about to be like, I love that song, bump, 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 Poison, but Poison is Belle Biv DeVoe. Never mind. Sorry. But Bobby, if the versus battle taught me and showed me anything about Bobby Brown, is that cardio needs to be his friend, right? And
That's that.
I'm just saying, I would feel some kind of way if I, bought a ticket to head on down to New Orleans to see New Edition, and one Bobby does not show up, or Bobby is like sitting on the sideline out of breath with a whole asthma pump.
Listen, it's the nostalgia factor. It's like the iconic boy band of all boy bands.
I go for the singing,
Like,
not for the. I go for the singing, not for the nostalgia.
listen, they're still gonna kill it. All the clips I've seen, other videos, they are doing it, dipping it and doing it. And yeah, so that's that. But let's not talk about New Orleans. Let's go
I
to
want to dip
Salt
it and
Lake
do it to
City.
the reunion.
Okay. That's a different video.
We got part 3 and the finale, and the reunion kicked off with obviously this was the Jen Shaw episode we've all been waiting for. Like I said, they could have given us 2 parts, episode 1 and then this episode, and we would have been fine. But we got a chance to spend a few seconds with the gentlemen sisters, the husbands of the Salt Lake, of the
Literal few
city.
seconds.
A few seconds. What were your takeaways from the few seconds with the husbands sisters? His.
Right. Well, now, I love that we see, Meredith's husband on the screen, because now when we get to Potomac, there's not going to be a reason why Michael Darby cannot appear on the reunion, because we now have made accommodations. And I think this happened again for Dallas. They did the same thing for when one of the housewives got COVID. She appeared via that way. So Miss Ashley Darby.
Ooh, don't come for Ashley. Wait, is that why Seth was on the screen because of COVID?
They did say something related, because Andy said COVID is keeping us apart. Now, I don't know what that meant. He didn't go into detail, but who knows? But so there's no excuse. Everybody can
I
attend the
agree.
reunion. So
Can I tell you what my takeaway from seeing Seth and Meredith
what?
is that collectively between those two, they've slept with all of New York.
All of it. Okay.
Lord.
You think they're in an open relationship?
Baby, I don't know if that's open or if that's a recipe for an open free clinic.
Oh, not an open free clinic though. Oh my God. Would you ever be in an open relationship?
Um, does that mean that he's opening the door for me to walk into the house at night?
And to walk into a house, yes.
Ah! I'm only walking into my house. I don't, that's such a newfangled thing. I feel like these days is this whole concept of open relationships.
Yeah.
I don't know if my ministry, the B.Rich Brandon ministry, will allow me to live in a whole open relationship. But it's definitely something that would require a conversation
For
to
sure.
understand why my partner would want something that's open. But again, when I think open relationship, I think open to the clinic as well. Hey,
Yeah.
be ready.
Open relationships. B.Rich said no with a capital no. Okay.
It's
Hard. Let's crack up. Well, sis, we are here. Your day is just got better right now at
Jer-
5:06 p.m. Eastern.
Jeremy.
Yes,
Would you be in an open relationship?
for
Are
sure.
you in an open relationship? Oh, damn! You didn't even let me finish.
Right. I'm actually single, so I'm not in a relationship. But if I were in a relationship, yeah, for sure. Probably the only kind of relationship I would be in. So yeah, accept that. How
That's
about
that's that newfangled relationship that I was talking about.
Mhm.
Now, apparently, collectively, obviously, Seth was joking
Right?
that they've slept. I thought it was a really great way that Seth tried to, handle obviously Lisa's tantrum and diatribe about her sleeping with all of New York by balancing that out with a little bit of comedy. But I will say this though too, I'm always a fan of Coach Shaw. Coach Shaw is soothing to me. Coach Shaw is the temple because they're Muslim, right? So Muslim, the faith goes down to a temple, right? No, it's not a temple. They go to the mosque. Excuse me. So like he can like what?
Laughing at be ready. She said if she wanted open, the door is open for him to leave.
Listen, the door is open, and then in the words of Nene Leakes, once the door is closed, the door is
No relationship
closed.
is closed. Okay.
Right. This relationship is closed. But Sharif for me, I thought was the silver lining for Jen. He made Jen seem a little bit more human in terms of her struggle. Ooh, that face, Jeremy.
No, I'm listening to it. I'm taking in what you have to say.
He made Jen feel a little bit more human with her struggle as she's going through this whole like journey. Even him talking about how like baby Sharif is going in to try to get her out of bed, how Jane won't get out of bed, all of these things. I felt like I was like Sharif better be her counsel, her protector, her provider.
So this is my problem with it. As I was watching, he said, "Love Coach Shaw. The Lord needs to send me one just like him." Okay, hello.
Listen, let's go ahead and add times 2 to that. Be ready, okay?
I'm sorry. Hello.
Well, it sounds like you wanted somebody that lives on the wild side, Jeremy. You want somebody that's open, chat.
You know what? When they asked about if they had any infidelity, they answered that question real quick and no, and didn't have no they could expand.
But you thought that was quick? I thought that was a little bit of a slow answer. She was like tapping her head and like, no.
No explanation. It was just no. And like, we don't want to talk about this.
It was silence. It was like,
I won't tell Coach Shaw, okay? So,
I believe Coach Shaw is a family man, but
you could be a family man. Oh, and you could be a family man and still do all of that as well too. She said Jeremy wants to party.
Listen, Jeremy,
like the Mean Girls.
Jeremy, is it a party or is it a choo-choo?
Ooh, moving right along. Okay, let me look on the Amtrak and purchase me a ticket.
Not all aboard. All aboard.
God. Not about to be doing up in here. No, so this is my thing. Yes, it was really nice to see Jen. Well, not nice. It was really sad to hear about those struggles. And I can anybody that was probably facing those situations, whether they're guilty or not, it's a human emotion. It does bring a little sympathy her way. But what makes it hard for us to like go all the way was like she can't get out of bed, but then she's, doing all these antics like selling not guilty t-shirts and doing all of this stuff.
That's just
Like,
recent though. That just came.
girl, what?
So for those that may not know, over the weekend, Jeremy and I were messaging each other back and forth because it came across as breaking news for me that Jen Shaw has launched a whole collection of like innocent t-shirts, like hoodies, joggers, and apparently her 11-piece collection came out quicker than Sheree's collection of She by Sheree spring summer joggers. So I'm trying to figure out how Jen was able to muster up a keep Jen out of jail collection so quickly, and She by Sheree just only came out this year, 3 years later.
Not 3 years. That's been what season of Housewives is this? This is 14
Right.
years later, because that was first season. Remember, Sheree had that fashion show announcing it, but had no fashions.
Well, she had the fashion show with just the sketches, but remember when they brought Sheree back for that one season and she was the bone collector? That had to have been season like 11 or 12. And
but it's all stemming from the very beginning. Like, we would have never known about Sheree if she would not have had this thing. But I hear she made a comeback and she's having season 1 justice at the end of this new season. So yeah.
She had her fashion show at the end of the season. But again, fashion show with no fashions. Exactly. Classic. Let me tell you something. Again, Jen Shaw got a whole free Jen Shaw collection. Now, Jeremy, are you purchasing any pieces out of this collection?
This lady, I'm not going to have no ties to this lady, okay? Financially, I'm not trying to get called upon the court. Don't want them to see my credit card information up in there and be like, if you really buying from Jen Shaw. So, and I don't want my information. I'm vulnerable. I do not want my phone number and name to be sold to people that will take.
You're not the vulnerable community that they they target, honey. You still have your wits about you. You're not in a old folks home just yet.
I'm just saying,
Well, at the end of the day, Jen Shaw has a whole collection out. I think Coach Shaw, Coach Sharif, did a great job standing up and being his wife's protector. I'm going to tell you something. Coach can have my back any day the way he protecting her.
Oopsie, I feel like this is Jen Shaw right now. I just got a text message talking about Chase. We have locked your account due to unreasonable activity. Click here to unlock your account.
Jeremy, how did Shaw get your credit card information allegedly this quick?
And this is how I know it's Jen Shaw. I don't even have Chase Bank. So she want me to click on the link so I can get my information.
Girl, don't do it. Don't click on that link. You'll be locked out of every single one of your accounts.
So I just looked at the website and she didn't got my information. So this is how she was getting the people. This is exact. Beware. Don't go to that site.
You just looked at the website and automatically got a text message talking about your money in your account has been frozen.
Like frozen. So it is done. Okay.
Okay, but did you know, Jeremy, that Coach Shaw was a whole lawyer? I'm trying to figure out the story that they pieced together. Did you buy this story about him being an NFL agent plus a lawyer and now an assistant coach for a team that's not a little league team?
Yeah, for sure. Like, most agents need to have some kind of law background in order to be super proficient in their jobs, because it's all about contracts and things dealing with the law. And a natural progression, you're still in that same genre by being an assistant coach. So that's believable to me. I don't see any reason why he would lie about that.
So, okay. So if that's the case, then it does make sense that how, they may have had their wealth, but I'm still not buying the fact that Coach Shaw, he did say he knew what his wife was doing.
He had to say that. Listen, because if you say you do not, that hurts. That helps the defense and hurts your wife. Be like, because this man did not know what his wife was doing. But listen, let me let you know, if I got my salary and I don't really know how much you doing, but you going spending $50,000 a month, and I know I ain't bringing in $50,000 a month, sis, where's you getting that money from? Like, what is happening?
And there you go. Like, do we believe that Jen was breaking in all of this money legally?
No, no, I don't. And I do think like because it was really interesting to see the audition video, and I do think she did like what do you call it? Exaggerate a little bit, just for the cameras and stuff
A
like
little bit
that.
of
But I mean,
hyperbole.
right? I do still feel like she's spending all this money, and even like, listen, like Meredith said, I don't be trying to count people's money, but I do like am curious sometimes when I see people doing a lot of just different stuff, and I'd be like, what do you do to be able to do all of this and buy all of this and go all of these places? Because I'm like, I feel like I do pretty okay, and I can't be doing
You,
all of that. So
you,
like,
you know what the girls call it, right?
oof.
Because I'm from Atlanta. The girls would call it a stunt queen. So
It's got to be because I'll be like, I'll be. I think it is a natural thing when you see someone doing all of these things and you to just wonder. You're not gonna attack them for it, but in the back of your mind, you do wonder like, wow, like how is this person able to do this? But I mean, that's natural.
But here's the thing: you can still do this if you have multiple businesses, right? But I think the question here is, what the hell is Jen doing? Because at the end of the day, I don't think anybody knew that she was doing this level of trade marketing. And how Whitney explained it, it does seem a little bit of a sham.
But she
And
said that's not what she was doing. She said what she did describe was money something, and she said she was doing data collection where she just giving a name and a number. That's why I got this text message here. Okay, she got my name and my number.
data mining, I think is
That's
what they
all
termed it.
data mining. It all seems shady to me, but it does make sense. Every time we go on any of these social media sites or websites, they are collecting every bit of information. And this is why all these sites are free, because basically you are teaching them how to convince you to buy stuff. Like, this
Yeah.
is the perfect experiment. It's just like, okay, we're going to give them a site for free to keep in touch and to network with one another. But all along, we just monitoring human behavior so that we can use it against
I
you.
mean, think about all of our phones. The moment we say, "Ooh, I need to go on a diet, honey," or "I need to go on a juice cleanse," 5 minutes later, we open up Instagram or our social page, and now we see all these ads for diets and juice cleanses. I was just about to bring this up. Be ready. Speaking of the schemes that was set up by Todd to bring us the bullshit, is Whitney's husband was associated with the scheme too. So it's everywhere. So do we think Iris and Bo is a product of Justin scheming?
So I I can't. Well, they said they had. I mean, listen, I don't know, but all I know now is Iris and Bo is apparently doing pretty good. It flies off the shelves at Beauty Lab, and she says that though they spent some of their money, which was not their retirement fund, it was their fund to buy a cabin.
Yes.
Excuse me. So it was their cabin fund. And she said, I'm his retirement plan. So that means she about to work hard and he ain't gonna have to worry, because when he's ready to stop working, Iris and Bo is going to be there. So watch out, all these MAC Cosmetics and everybody else, because Iris and Bo is here coming for the throne.
Is it Iris and Bo that's the retirement plan, or is it Iris and Bo that's the retirement plan?
Because they're gonna cost money to keep Iris and Bo afloat. And if they don't have no money to keep Iris and Bo afloat, they're gonna go under just like any other business.
Well, Iris and Bo are the floats.
Right. But listen, you got to maintain them businesses, because after a few years, you got to go back and put more into that business for it to stay that way.
I
So
do hear that you have to replace these tires every 10 years or something like that. Now,
Freddie does have a good point. We didn't really see the product at all. We saw her do the shoot with the hats and stuff. But listen, every scene I be putting on makeup with Iris and Bo, washing my face in the morning with Iris and Bo. Oh, girl, it's your birthday. Here's Iris and Bo. Oh my gosh, let me tell you about Iris and Bo. Like, I'll be talking about so much that they couldn't edit all of it out.
well, you see that Vita goes everywhere with Lisa,
Yep.
right? We see Vita packaging.
I'm gonna get you some Vita.
I've never seen or heard about Vita until this show.
Me either, and I still ain't never seen it in real life, in person before. Maybe it's a Salt Lake thing, but
well, I don't drink the tequila, so that's why.
That's all. If I do drink, that's all I drink.
Oh, you. Oh, okay. Listen, I'm gonna leave you alone, Jeremy. Moving on. So she doesn't talk to Stuart anymore. But here's what I also thought was suspicious, and maybe she had to do it because of legal reasons. Is she went from Stuart is the business partner to now I don't know Stuart anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I do think a lot. So this is the difficult part about asking her these questions at this juncture, right? Because she's still going through it. There's a lot of things she can't say, but it also is a convenient for a convenient. It becomes a convenient excuse to not answer things you just don't want to answer.
And
Like,
I think that was what they were pulling on is like, oh, I can't talk about it. I just felt like that was her escape in order to not talk about the hard questions.
for sure. And it's like, sis, why can't you talk about something that he asked about the allegations? The allegations are the allegations. It's fact. What are the allegations? Why you can't talk about what it is? We're not asking you to expound about it. What is it? You can't talk about what your business is, sis. What is it? That's all. Those are facts.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't trust nobody that's in an indictment and or has been indicted, and they don't even know the sentencing that comes along with the charges.
Now that is crazy, and I actually believe she probably does not know. She knows it's bad, but
The fact that Andy knows that it's up to 50 years and he asked her to clarify, and she's like, I mean, they don't really talk to me about the sentencing. Excuse me? If I'm having my mama mortgage her retirement for me to have Bill on retainer, I need to know everything from the top to bottom, the rooter to the tutor. How much time am I possibly facing so I can figure out how to navigate this?
no, that is facts. And she also said that what did she say? She said, oh, when they were talking about their sons, that to me was really sad. I
Hands
mean,
up and not knowing if Stewart's children had to go through the same thing.
and why did they do that anyway for the charge that it was? Like, knock on
Right.
the door.
Why do y'all have guns? Why did the children have to walk out with their hands up and you came into their home? Like literally, if you need to get them out, let them.
laundering situation, like white collar crime. This is a real housewife. Why are you going in with that? Like, what do the kids have to do with this? Like, these are children. Why are they being like escorted out with their hands up at gunpoint? I don't understand that.
Because they're black and brown children. And to Jen's point, that's the reality of existing in black skin. Honestly.
Now, one thing I do not like is that she tried to blame the fact that she was a minority and her husband's a minority, why people are thinking that her business was like something suspicious. But it's like, no, sis, it's too much real like racism in the world for you to be using this so willy-nilly. And she does this very often all the time, being like, is it because I have a black husband and I'm not white? And I'm like, sis, no, this is like
because your business sounds illegal.
it sounds shady at minimum. It sounds very, very shady. And it doesn't make sense. We don't understand. You can't fully explain it. Nobody that you know can explain it. And so, yeah, like, it's some real situations out here. And when you do that, you diminish the movement because now people watching this, especially like a lot of times white people, and we all learn through media and television, and so we're watching and rolling our eyes like, here we go, somebody else claiming racism, and this is clearly not racism.
But so here's my thing, because the Riddler on one side of the couch, aka Whitney in her green outfit, said, I don't know. I really still to this day don't know. I understand what you're saying, but also think about how often as Black people, when we see someone with money or spending in excess, the perception is, oh, they have to be a rapper or an athlete or doing something illegal in order to do it. So do I say that she was wrong for hiding behind that? I feel like it's a fine balance when you want to play the race card, because we have so many racist things happening. That card needs to be dealt with and handled with precision. But I think it was also challenging the norm, is like, you guys only have issues, or people only seem to be confused. And is it because of my race? Because typically, like I mentioned, most times if somebody's walking around in wealth, are they a celebrity? Are they an athlete? Are you a drug dealer? Like, it's one of those things. Like, why can I exist with multiple businesses and own, a good old DQ or McDonald's and be wealthy?
Right. And, I think I have a different perspective on it because of where I live and here in Washington, D.C. You do find a lot of wealthy Black people that are working in a variety of different business
Absolutely.
aspects. And so to see people with money and to see people doing well, it's not like it's the norm. You see that all the time. So you get a different experience with that. And she
So
said,
yes, it's the norm, but I'm gonna even challenge that mentality as well. And you know how much I love playing in the DMV area personally. It is common practice, and it's almost like the DC etiquette that has been taught that the moment you meet somebody, it is, "Hey, I'm Brandon. How are you? Oh, what do you do here?" That's the second thing out of everybody's mouth because they're trying to establish if you come with some form of social currency to the conversation.
of course, 100%. Yes, that's the name of that game. I don't do that. I try not to even ever ask that question just because, even though, like, I do think it's a natural question, but I think here when people do that, there's ulterior motives because,
Absolutely.
like, I do when I meet people, I'm interested in what they do because it is a part of who they are as a person. And like, oh wow, tell me more about that. But yeah, that's not how that's being asked.
But to your point, though, it's a fine little dance here. Now, jumping back in, though, I kind of want to talk about this whole like Meredith coming with the tea. Like, Meredith hired a cyber specialist, but then also Meredith has this inside Louis Vuitton tea. So apparently, Jen Shaw can't even shop at Louis Vuitton anymore.
Listen, probably not. I mean, who knows? Like, listen, they ain't turning away their money though. They gonna keep. They be like, we're just gonna make a note of it just in case they come. Be like, well, she was on a red list, but okay, man, we'll take these thousands of dollars. Here go your bag.
Listen, they'll take those coinage as long as that's coinage on fraudulent and or counterfeit. You're on mute, Jeremy.
That's true. That's true.
Now, before we wrap, because there are a few more things that kind of like, stuck out to me as well. And it was, again, Whitney being a flip flopper, because I think she is. And also the fact that they did this entire team of friends were a lot more educated about reading through an indictment than I thought Beverly Hills. Because when like Erica Jane stuff
They
dropped,
didn't read it. They were just like, it was too much to read. I didn't read it. So they was,
Kyle was like, this was too much. I called my lawyer.
yeah.
Oh, let's see what B.Ready said. Meredith don't have no info. Bad as she treated her about the dad death, she would have spilled the tea. You think so, B.Ready?
That ain't Meredith. That ain't Meredith's MO. Meredith is like, I got something on you. And so, yeah.
Now, this was a finale. How would you rate this finale?
I thought it was pretty good. It was probably the most interesting of the whole thing. The one thing I did want to point out too, when the husbands were out there was a brief moment of conversations about therapy that happened. And Sharif pointed out, like, tried to have a plea to the Black community about, like, this is my voice. I don't know what's happening here. Hold on a second, y'all.
Go ahead and cough. I agree. I think I know where you're going with this.
But it was really nice moment to just see, like, the importance of going there. And then Dewey chimed in, or Hugh, whatever his Huey, Dewey, and Lou then chimed in. And he also talked about it from the Asian community, which I do think, like, overall that's been the case. And I think not only, people don't think that it should, but I think also for a long time we've just not have access to it because even still today it's still very expensive. But it was a moment that was important, but I don't think even Andy really fully understood, like, the levity of them talking about that and the impact that it could potentially have on both of their communities, because it's a huge statement for minority people to be like, hey, I'm going to therapy and it's okay. Let's make this thing normal.
I agree. I was glad that Doug into Dewey and the extra wife. Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh God,
And he
Lord
still
child.
was just like, I said what I said. That's basically was the summation of his response.
That whole like sister wife and being a breaking point for their relationship. I will say this though, as we get ready to wrap, I completely agree. I think therapy, this is that, and this was one of the things, I'm gonna be very transparent right now with you all, is that this was one of the things I put on my goal for myself for 2022 was to start going to therapy. And I have not been able to find one just yet. And that's not because I haven't tried. It's just because I have not made it as much of a priority as I need to. And I watching this, and when they did that call out, I was like, you know what, good for Coach Shaw, good for Dewey highlighting it, because as we know in the Black community, it is important. And I walked away like, Heffa, make this, put this on your to-do list for this week. So my goal this week is to find me a therapist, actually.
And I mean, see, like things like that just shows like the huge impact. And also too, like I've gone to couples therapy before, but I've never gone to individual. So last week was my first time in individual therapy, and I have an appointment tomorrow too. And so
I thought you looked clearer and brighter and lighter and less congested in your mind.
Hello. Right. So does what? No, because I mean, that's a funny statement, but it's also true, because I think our mental health is so intrinsically tied to our overall physical health. And sometimes these elements like weight gain issues and other different high blood pressure and different things like that are tied to our mental well-being. And when we start to clear those up, you will be so surprised at how some of these other health issues are will also start to improve as well.
Oh, child, Jeremy, you got the people in the chat clapping. Thank you for wishing me luck on my search.
Yeah.
You know, I'll share this really funny story, and then I know we have to wrap. But I was talking about it with some friends, and we were in a friendship circle, and I was like, I really want to find one that's also like a gay therapist as well, like And so one of my homeboys was like, well, I'll send you a link to some possible therapists that you can reach out to. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, he cute. And they were like, whoa.
Right. No, I mean, but that's real, because I mean, so when I wanted to see mine, I wanted a Black or minority person, male, gay, were the top things, only because I feel like we are at least starting to talk from a similar jumping off point, and not that other therapists of other races and other sexualities cannot provide that same care, but at least I feel like I'm with that person. I'm talking to someone who understands me, because you in a certain turn is me. But also too, if you go to Psychology Today, and you can just type in all information, psychologytoday.com, all information of you can put anything that you want. You can put your city. You can say you want a man. You can say I want to deal with this. You can say I want somebody gay.
6'3"?
What?
6'3"?
6'3". Right now they ain't gonna ask for no height, but they do got some pictures, and I was looking at them too. I was like, ooh, it's gonna make me more comfortable when I'm talking to a cute man about my issues. Okay?
I can't take you. On that note, guys, I rate this last episode because I felt like, so here's the deal. I felt like Andy had harder questions for Erica Jane, but I still felt like Andy asked the right questions for Jen Shaw. So with all of that being said, I rate this an 8. I treat my trainer like my therapist. Yeah, I guess it's one of those things where they're training your mind. So I think this is all part of that mind, body, soul type of thing.
And just to go on that, like, you don't have to be a therapist to be therapeutic, right? I think we sometimes just talking it out with friends, or like your trainer, just letting it out. So often we keep things inside of us that if we just speak it releases it, right? Just saying it. But when we don't say it and keep it in, it does so much harm to us. So yeah, I mean, I think that's great as well too. We can find other avenues as well until we can get that.
But don't rely solely on your makeup artist, your barber, your trainer, your hairstylist to show up as a therapist, because they're not trained in it, nor do they get paid to give you the advice that you need outside of, ooh, girl, you know what I would do? And on that note, guys, we got to go. Jeremy, what was your rating? I gave it an 8. What was your rating?
Yeah, I'll give it like a 6.5, 7.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I mean, it was strong, but nothing like, oh, y'all, did y'all see that? 8 or 9 is like, oh my, and it's in Atlanta.
It's not a 9. It's not a 9. It was an 8.
Like, you got to see this. And that was not, you got to see it. It was like, it was nice to see. It was enjoyable. But it wasn't like, oh, bitch, did you see this?
That's very fair. Let's see what last. I agree with the 7, to be honest.
Hello. Thank you.
All right. Guys, before we get out of here, I just want to also highlight and note that we're going to take a moment of pause almost like a little bit of a mini hiatus with Jeremy and I live on Mondays at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. You know how when you go through seasons and, they go on hiatus and they come back. Jeremy and I are going to take a little hiatus from doing this weekly, but you can always catch fresh content. I will still be doing my matches, and we're going to talk about pop culture, chow, and getting ready with me. And you'll still have artistry videos from me. So we'll still talk. But in terms of this
y'all
right here,
find me on Instagram if y'all just miss me and just want to talk to me or whatnot. There it is, Jeremy McShane, or on YouTube, same thing. But yeah, we're gonna take a pause for the cause since we're talking. Yeah,
Jeremy, I appreciate you joining me to talk about it. We talked about a few Housewives franchises, Atlanta, Beverly Hills, and Salt Lake City. So I think this is a really great way for us to pause and regroup and then come back with some fresh content very soon. And on that note, guys, ooh, ciao. Yes, a summer break. We got to go. You know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave me a comment. Most importantly, check the notifications and make sure they are what? Turned on. Who loves you? I do. And Jeremy does too. Bye, guys.